What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Process Sports Radio. I got a special guest with us today. He goes by the name of Jas Grewal. He's a personal trainer and a member of Vancity Bhangra. Jas, how you doing, my man?
Great, man. How about you?
I'm good. Just living through this COVID-19 pandemic one day at a time. How about yourself? Hopefully everybody's healthy. You're healthy yourself?
Yep, man. I'm in the same boat. Same thing.
Yeah, man. So today we're just going to be talking about fitness, Jas's personal journey in fitness, tips and stuff like that. So, Jas, why don't we just dive right in, man, once you're ready?
I'm ready, man.
Let's
Let me
go.
know whenever. Ask away.
So speaking of COVID-19, how did you maintain working out, eating healthy during this whole quarantine when, of course, gyms were closed, it's harder to, go out and stuff like that? What were some tips and strategies to maintain, to keep up with your personal level of fitness and stuff like that during this pandemic?
All right, there's a couple things off the bat. So first, I had my ups and downs during the quarantine. I'd be going good, going strong, eating well. But then, on a couple days, you have all the cookies and chips at home, so you start eating those, and that's kind of how it was for everybody. But I think I did fairly well throughout the whole quarantine. My tips and tricks were, I don't have the most gym equipment at home. I got a couple dumbbells. I got a Marcy machine, which you can do a chest press, a lat pull down,
exactly.
That type of stuff. Besides from that, I have access to Vancity Studio, Vancity Bhangra. So what I did was I would take my dumbbells in my car, I'd bring my pull-up bar, I'd take a yoga mat, I'd take them to the dance studio, and I'd kind of set up a circuit inside there. You have a lot more room. The more room I feel like you have when you work out, I feel like you're just going to be much more, open. When you work out in like a tight space in a home gym,
Exactly.
you don't have that much room to like wiggle.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, my tips were just, I got to train on things that I'm not really too fond of. So I'm used to like the conventional bench press, squat, deadlift, 8 reps. But now during quarantine, I was doing like 20 reps, 25 reps, yoga, stretching, working on my weak points. So I kind of looked at it in more of a positive way than a negative way.
Yeah, that's a really good way, especially for the mental side of it too, having that positive, that silver lining in the situation to help keep you going, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like how I thought of it. I thought of it as like, make most of what I have and just make the gains off it in a different type of way. Totally.
I think it's a really good tip to have, especially to stay positive, especially, during that time where we were not allowed to leave our house or anything like that. I know now stuff's opening up, but especially during that hard time for those first couple months, right, staying positive with that. Because I know for myself, right, there's days where you'd be completely bored, have nothing to do, and you get really down and bored. But finding that silver lining and keeping up with, working out and staying active, that really probably helped you get through it. And I'm sure many other people that did as well, right?
Yep, that's exactly right, man.
Totally. So also, with you being a personal trainer, how did you help your clients during this quarantine? And did you learn any new ways to train or teach your clients?
So during the quarantine, I actually didn't have too many clients at the time. I just had like less than a handful.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did, I tried my best to help them with their home workouts. So I actually made like individual home workout programs for them according to what they have at home. So if they only have dumbbells, if they only have resistance bands, I had a few friends also message me just like, hey, can you give me some tips and tricks?
Mm-hmm.
So I just made the program according to what they had, which was obviously a lot harder and it's a lot more reduced. But that was kind of what I did. Like, I would have to kind of get a little bit more creative with my workouts in order to help them. And I would even show them the workouts. I'd make a video of myself doing the workout that they can do it in their home, and I'd send them a video of me doing it so they know what I'm talking about or how to muscle. Yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, I think that, and also, it's a great thing we have technology like this, because then, for your clients that wanted to, continue on their fitness journey, it's good that you're accessible to that technology so that you can still help them all, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So, Jas, I want to get in kind of a little bit personal. I just want to know, what was your motivation behind your journey in fitness? What made you want to start, working out, living a healthy lifestyle and all that? And
okay, so it all started off, you could say it started off in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the main thing that pushed me towards weightlifting in the first place was when I started playing rugby in grade 8. It's a very aggressive, strong, and it's a very aggressive sport pretty much. So you need that strength and endurance. So ever since I started playing in high school, I got really into it, and I played throughout my whole high school. And then along with that, I played soccer, I played hockey, and the more sports you play, you kind of start to understand that you need muscle mass and strength to be really good in that sport. And after high school, I went to the University of Victoria, and I also played rugby out there for the UVic team. And that's kind of when my whole personal training and my fitness took off was because I got into really a lot of powerlifting there.
Mhm.
So heavy squats, heavy bench, heavy deadlifts. And that was and that's also when I started my page, Jas Grewal Fitness. And that's how I kind of became much more passionate about it. Kind of started off with sports. And then from sports, it became into like a heavy lifting just to become better at my sport.
Yeah.
And then after, I played sports for a few years, you get hurt, you get roughed up, and you're like, hey, you can't even work out. So then I just took a break from the sports, and then I got into the type of bodybuilding and that type of training.
Right.
And that's kind of like where I found my passion.
So your passion for sports took you to a new passion, the weightlifting and stuff like that, right? Exactly. Early on, what were like your biggest struggles in your early stages of your fitness journey and stuff like that?
My struggles were honestly, it's what you lack of your physically what you lack according to other people that you feel are better than you
Mhm.
or that are stronger than you.
Mhm.
And another thing is getting judged. Being afraid of being judged by people.
Totally.
Definitely those two. For me, for example, I've never been much of a chest and arms type of guy. My lower body is great. My back and shoulders are great.
Mhm.
So I've always, and the chest and biceps are kind of like the show muscles that everyone wants to see.
Exactly.
You don't have those, you kind of don't seem as big or as strong as you are.
Mhm.
So getting over that fear and, kind of understanding that everyone's bodies are different and you're going to grow at a different rate and, you still look great in your own way. That's kind of one of the biggest fears I had. And, I probably didn't overcome that until just 3-4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So, and along with that, the second thing I said was getting judged. When you're in the gym, not pushing enough weight as other guys, you get judged. People get afraid of that. I was definitely afraid of that for a long time as well.
Totally. And I feel like that's a common thing with a lot of people. Like I know for myself as well. If I'm not like you said, I'm not like any level of fitness as you, but getting judged and stuff like that, feeling that people are looking down, even though you're trying your best, it's really discouraging, right? So how did you what kept you motivated and kept you pushing on through those tough times?
Let's see. I think over time, as I became a little bit more confident,
Mhm.
you know what? You can see it in this way too. Maybe it might not be the best way, but as my body started to look better,
Mhm.
I became confident.
Once you saw the results, yeah.
I saw the results. So that's obviously not the only way to get confidence. It's not
Mhm.
the best way to get confidence. You should be confident even if your body doesn't even look good. You should still be confident in your own skin.
Totally.
But that's how I built my confidence when I saw the results.
So yeah, once you started to see, I think that's like for anybody, right? Once you see the work you're putting in, you're seeing the dividend, what the progress you're making, right? You're definitely gonna want to go further and further. Just like shooting a basketball, you might suck at shooting first, but you practice at it, you start going in. You're gonna want to start playing more and shooting more, right? It's just like any other sport, right?
Exactly.
Totally. Now another thing is other than the side of just working out, there's also eating, right? Healthy eating, healthy diet's a huge aspect of healthy living, right? How did you learn how to, not only work out effectively, but also eat properly and make a correct meal plan for yourself?
So that all started off with when I did my first physique competition.
Mhm.
That was back in 2017.
Yeah.
Up until 2017, so about 2013 to 2017, I loved the training. I loved the working out. Diet was whatever. I didn't know how to count macros. I didn't know anything about that. Until I actually signed up, I got a coach. His good friend now, Ben Edu. He's a big-time personal trainer and competitor as well. I hired him as a coach, and he kind of showed me how to change your body within 3 months just by diet and obviously you're working out really hard, but it's 75% diet.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did that and I learned about that for 3 months, after that 2017 year, it just became a breeze to me. It kind of just came like that, and you start researching on your own and whatnot.
Right.
And then along with that, the personal training certification and being a kid student, yourself, gratitude.
Yeah.
So you learn so much more about the human body and
Exactly.
nutrition and that type of stuff.
Totally. So yeah, I mean, what was the hardest thing you had to give up? What was the one cheat meal or one of the cheat food you had to give up or kind of stop eating as much?
So the hardest thing, as in during the that 12-week prep, or just in general?
Just in general. Yeah. What was the hardest thing giving up that you couldn't eat as readily because you knew it wasn't effective for your new journey in fitness?
The hardest thing I had to give up was probably eating. Right, food's good, food's tasty. Man.
Exactly.
Now, because now it's easier to balance, but the hardest thing I had to give up was literally just the good food.
Yeah, just the good
hard,
wholesome
man.
food, right? Yeah, right.
It's hard, especially at late night. You get those cravings, and it's really easy to eat carbs, or like carbs are bad, but eat like heavy meals and like or
Exactly.
whatnot. It's really easy. So like that was literally the hardest thing.
Totally, totally. So I know you're also a member of Vancity Bhangra, as we touched on earlier. How do
Yep.
you incorporate dance into your workout and living a healthy lifestyle?
So at Vancity, for example, we actually offer like ladies active and men's active Bhangra classes.
Totally.
So it's a high intensity cardio class.
Hmm.
I mean, like the ones I teach, I make them as hard as I can. We get up to almost 1,000 calories in like an hour.
Wow.
So it's intense.
That's
Like
an,
obviously you can't. Some people can't keep up to the extent that I'm teaching at, but you're there to try your best, and that's
Mhm.
what everyone does. So along with that, like we do Bhangra. We'll do like an ab workout. We'll do like a wall sit. We'll do a bunch of body weight exercises, and then we'll superset it with like a plank, and then we'll go back and do some like 5 minutes of Bhangra again. So like we go up and down, and just that kind of gets the people that are in the class more into fitness because they're learning about Bhangra and they're doing the moves, but they're also learning about how to train their body with like simple body weight exercises.
cool. That's touch on the next question I was going to talk about. How important is it having like a different variety of exercise rather than just your conventional, deadlifts, or squats, bench press, curls, whatever? How important is having variety when you're working out as well?
That is very important, man. You will realize it once you get injured. Once you like keep on training this the typical bodybuilding stuff for years and years, and you
Mhm.
realize that you didn't train like your rotator cuff, you didn't train like those little muscles in between your groin and the outside of your hips. That happened to me. I got a couple minor injuries. I got really weak rotator cuffs. So the past 3 years, I've been strengthening them. But it's very important to have balance. Yoga for flexibility. It's crazy good for you. You should practice like stuff even like meditation.
Hmm.
Meditation, like trains your mind, trains your soul. I can get less, not probably 95% of the population doesn't do that, and it helps them incredibly
That's
in
true.
like other ways. And yeah, man, even just example, the quarantine, it made me train in like the opposite side of the spectrum from what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So that helped me out a lot.
Like, you mentioned you started doing yoga and stuff like that, and probably, with totally different other things you haven't tried before, right? Speaking of meditation, right? I know and that's one thing I want to touch on right now is mental health. How important do you think that mental health is in not only just living for working out, having an active lifestyle, but life in general, being a personal trainer like you are?
It's incredibly important. Mental health is probably like, it's literally just as important as your physical health. Mental and physical health is kind of like the two realms. If you're not mentally well, if you're not mentally strong, you're not going to be able to physically perform your strongest.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to work your job to your best. Your personal relationships and like family stuff, that's going to tend to lack and it's going to break apart. So mental health is, people don't actually sit down and take the time to think about it,
Hmm.
but you need to have that time with yourself to realize who you are, how you are as a person, and kind of take that extra few minutes a day just to like self-reflect.
Exactly. For me, right, I was never one big proponent of mental health before, but really over the last couple of years, I started sitting down and understanding, hey, like if I don't take care of my brain and my internal self, my external self is not going to be the same, right? Either you get upset or depressed, you eat more, right? You stress when you eat more, you end up
Mm-hmm.
gaining more weight, right? So definitely, I am in agreement with you in that fact. Where if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to mentally, you're not going to perform physically correct, or otherwise, even with relationships as well, you're not going to be the best version of you. And I feel like that's something like, especially in the South Asian Punjabi community, it's not talked enough about is mental health and making sure that everybody's okay. They might seem okay on the outside, but what's going on the inside, right?
Yep. No, man, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. Especially in our community, that's huge.
it is. It's a very big issue. And I feel it's not really touched as much because it's kind of a stigma that you seem weak. That if you don't
Yeah.
touch
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it's a weakness, right? Where in fact it should be considered a strength, where you have the ability to talk about your mental health and talk about, hey man, like I'm going through something right now. It doesn't sound a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength because you're being able to come out in the front, in the open, and talk about it.
Yep. No, man, I get that. That's
Totally.
true.
So switching over to the personal training side. So say, for me, I'm not the biggest into fitness. How would you start off with somebody who's brand new fitness? How would you help them kickstart their fitness journey and get them started on that, your personal training time?
Kickstart their journey. It all depends on what they want to see. Like what do they want to like? Where do they see themselves in 3 months? Where do they see themselves in like a year?
Mhm.
In 5 years? Like when people approach me for like personal training, I ask them like, okay, what do you expect? Like, what do you want? Like, where do you see
What are your
yourself?
goals? What are your goals out of this, right?
Exactly. What are your goals? Like, I want to know what you're doing. Like, why do you want to be this weight by this time? Why do you want to look like this by then? Right? What's the point? That's kind of the main thing. And once you kind of find out their goals, sorry, I totally forgot the question.
Yeah. So say we're talking right now. If somebody comes to you that wants to, I want to drop 40 pounds and I want to, get bigger, right? How would you help them get there, right?
Yeah. Well, how to help them? Yeah. So I would, I would be by their side the whole time. I frequently follow up with my clients. I'll send them a text. I'll talk to them on the phone if they're. Some people like the phone call, some people don't. I send them motivational quotes, that type of stuff. I try to keep them as motivated as they can, And then, I know people are insecure by sending their photos sometimes to me because, they're insecure about their bodies. But, the thing is that's like, they're sending me that in confidence, and I'll make them feel confident about it. If I see phenomenal growth, I'm going to tell them. I'll make them feel really good about themselves, right?
Yeah.
And if I don't see growth, I'm going to say it from a professional opinion. I won't make them feel bad about it. I'll give them the confidence to beat that point and kind of change it and work harder. Yeah. It's kind of more about like being a friend to them.
Exactly, but then also to being a friend too, you got to give them a kick in the pants when they need it too if you feel they're lacking, right? But also, understand that fine balance of, okay, I can't be too hard on them because I got to pick them up. I don't want to damage that confidence they have already, right?
Exactly right, man.
Yeah, man. Another thing is when you see that progress and stuff like that must be super rewarding, with the career, the passion you're in right now, right? How rewarding is your job when you see that progress from your client going from point A to point B or whatever?
It is the most rewarding feeling ever. It's better than looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at your body and making big changes. It's way better than that.
Yeah.
When you actually help other people, when you help other people in general and they're really happy and you see that joy in their heart, that energy, they're glowing, right? When you see that,
exactly,
it's a great feeling. Like, I get more satisfaction from helping a newbie at the gym or a client than bench pressing a new PR or something like that.
Because I could totally understand, because you're making a change in somebody's life that could possibly be a life-altering change, and you could be the root of that. You could be the help of that, right? That's something that I think is an unbelievable feeling, right? Because you're helping change somebody's life for the better, right?
Yeah,
totally.
For sure.
Okay, so Jas, this is the last question. It's kind of like a broad question, kind of wrap everything up we've talked about. A simple question: what does sport mean to you?
Sport? Let's see, sport. Sport means to me two different things. Sportsmanship, and sport as in like physical fitness and games. So when I like of the word sport, I'm thinking like, that's a very tough question. I'm thinking like you want to be in both sides of that thing. You want to be physically fit, you want to be physically active, you want to be very athletic, and then you want to have really good sportsmanship, as in you got to be friendly to everyone that you're having the sport with. You have to be respectful, you have to be kind, and that's kind of like a sportsmanship aspect. So if I were to think about the word sport, I would just think about respect into fitness. So that's kind of what I kind of would think about.
Yeah, like this, people just think that sport is just athletics, but you also, I don't understand, people forget there's such a deeper level meaning to sport. Like you just mentioned, sportsmanship, respect, learn to work with other people, teamwork, all that stuff that sport has, and it touched, created. Sport is the reason why you're into what you're doing right now. Sport's the reason why I'm into what I'm doing right now. And I feel like that is something that people tend to forget. A lot of people think that sport's just a game. It's just something for fun for kids, right? But really, sport has such a deeper meaning, and I'm really glad that we were able to talk about mental health and stuff like that, and being a part of sport. That's something that I feel, from what you said as well, is something that really needs to be touched on more, right?
Yep. No, man, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, that's all the questions I have for today. I want to thank you for your time, bro. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do this again in person once this kind of pandemic has settled down a little bit. Definitely, yeah. What I'll do is, guys, I'm going to put Jas's information in the bio on the YouTube video. I'm also going to tag him on my Instagram post. You can check out his page, all of his crazy stuff he has on there. And also, Jas, last, I just want to say thank you, stay safe, and take care.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.